Hi everyone, today on Steve's Garage I'll be jump-starting a completely drained Milwaukee M18 battery. While I am working on a Milwaukee battery, this procedure will work for any tool battery, you just have to identify the positive and negative contacts. For example, this DeWalt battery is basically identical to an M18 battery. The M12 batteries have the positive and negative contacts on the top, and even this Ego battery has an easily identifiable layout similar to that of the smaller batteries. One word of caution is I wouldn't mix and match voltages. The DeWalt is a 20, the M18 and M12 are obviously different, and of course the 56 volt Ego battery was for example purposes only today. As far as this Milwaukee battery goes, when I put it on the charger it flashes red and green, which indicates a battery or charging issue. It's definitely not a temperature issue, and I have left it on the charger overnight to try to get it to accept a charge. It's also not an age thing because I've barely used this battery, which is why it's too drained to initiate a charge. So we're going to help it along. You really don't need much to get this done. If you want, a razor blade would work in a pinch as it does fit in the battery terminal, but it is a blade, so something else would be advisable if you have it. I'll be using small ring terminals that I had lying around, but you could also use something like a small blade fuse, a piece of metal, or even stick the wires directly into the contacts. If you're going my route, grab some spare wiring, your wire strippers, and you can get to work on making some miniature jumper cables. These really don't have to be anything fancy, this is just spare parts I had in my toolbox, so in this case, it's better to be resourceful than make a trip to the store. Once you've got your jumper cable set up, you can connect the batteries. Just like any other battery, you want to connect positive to positive, negative to negative, and try to not touch the leads together to avoid shorting out the battery. These didn't show any indication that something was happening, so just leave them alone for about 15 minutes to do their thing. In my case, after about 15 minutes, the dead battery did not show any level indication when I pressed the button, but it was warm, which I took as a good sign. The good battery also showed a drain, which is also a good sign. At this point, you can disconnect the batteries and pop the jumped one on the charger. In my case, not only did it show a charge, but it was also accepting a charge. I double-checked that my original good battery still did the same, and it did. Meaning everything appears to have worked without damaging either of my batteries. My final test was to install it on a tool, so I grabbed my impact, and it worked. Again, I tested both batteries just to be sure, and they both worked. The last thing I wanted to check was if the jumped battery would accept a full charge, so I left that to do its thing, and when I came back, there was a green light on the charger and a full level indicator on the battery. You can see this one has never been used as opposed to my very used jumper battery. The used battery also maintained its charge overnight, which is a good sign, and it still accepts a charge. All this is enough of an indication that both batteries are fully functional in terms of accepting a charge, holding it, and being able to power a tool. I highly suggest giving this a try if you have a completely drained power tool battery. Even if you do have to go out and buy some wiring parts, a pair of wire strippers, you're still well under the cost of a new battery. If this video helped you out, drop a comment and let me know what brand battery you revived. If you enjoyed this video, think about subscribing and be sure to check out my other playlist of simple tutorials. Thanks so much for watching.